Okay, folks, here we go. Target earnings missed by a mile. Stocks tank in the pre-market, and organized retail crime drove $400 million in losses for Target. This is a big deal, folks, and this is quite possibly perhaps what could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. A lot of folks are worrying, they're panicking, they're concerned, not only for the state of the economy, but for their jobs, their income, their weekly or bi-weekly paychecks, their ability to make rent, pay their mortgages, buy food, put food on the table, stock their pantries. But the prep is what's most important. And when I say prep, I mean financial prep. You guys know that. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know how important it is to financially prepare for what is here, what is happening. We've been talking about this for months, and we're seeing the effects today. Despite what the Fed and their most recent CPI inflation reports may show, that inflation is trending downward or has been for the last month over month, year over year, we still need to understand the simple fact of the matter is that prices are going to continue to stay high, and prices are going to continue to climb, and jobs are going to be continue to be lost, which was the primary focus and concern and push by Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell himself, where he said that there would be softening in the markets and 1.2, at the very least, 1.2 million jobs lost here in America. Now, you got to look at this and say, Target earnings missed by a mile and the stock tanks in the pre-market. Well, if the stock is falling, we got two trains of thought here. If the stock is falling, we got an opportunity to get in here and buy at a discount. We got an opportunity to buy on sale. If you guys aren't buying on discount, if you're not buying on sale, I don't know why. There's a link in the description, Robinhood. If you don't have a brokerage trading app, I'm buying on sale. Target organized. The other train of thought is that perhaps with a missed earnings report, with lower revenues, thus lower profits, possibly some losses, we got to make cuts. And comment down below if you know what typically is the most expensive overhead operating carrying cost for businesses. Comment down below if you know the answer to that question. Organized crime. Target sees $400 million in losses. This is going to shift the business, okay? The losses being organized mean that more than likely they're internal. So how do we adjust? How do we adapt? How do we evolve as a business to stay in business, number one, stay viable, and grow and turn revenues and profits? Well, in my opinion, I'm going to do as much as I can to prevent loss, prevent shrink. Hard to turn a profit when your employees are stealing from you. So what do? I eliminate my employees. I'm going automated. I'm going technology. I'm going AI. I'm going distribution. I'm going POS, and I'm going less physical bodies, while also trying to improve my earnings, thus cutting my overhead operating expense of these expensive employees. That just means that we could potentially see a mass wave, perhaps maybe Target being the next major headline outside of Walmart, outside of Best Buy, outside of Bed Bath & Beyond, outside of Amazon, Amazon just announced 10,000 jobs are being cut, on top of 80,000 jobs that were eliminated and never refilled. No new rehires done. So effectively, collectively, 90,000 jobs lost with Amazon. If I'm Target, the next news headline that I'm waiting to see is that Target announces mass layoffs. That's what I'm expecting to see. Target shifting its business model to become more of an online retailer. But with that being said, we are at a little bit of a tricky fork in the road, so to speak, because partially why Amazon is making its tremendous employee workforce cut, 10,000 jobs lost, folks, is for the fact that they've seen a decline in slowing in online sales. Why is that? Well, this is coming out of the pandemic. This is post-pandemic recovery. People aren't sitting at home anymore. People not like they used to. They're not sitting on the couch anymore, ordering up anything and everything that they see online. Also, their income has been affected, whether it be they have lost a job themselves or just the fact that higher prices, inflation and higher interest rates and carrying boatloads of credit card debt is just burying them day to day, week to week, month to month. They don't have the money to spend on these items that have also gone up in price. This is leading into this pretty much historic, record-setting, probably one of the worst holiday shopping seasons we've seen in quite some time, which I've been talking about. I've been talking about it since there was 100 days until Christmas. I've been talking about it for the simple fact that people don't even have the money. Folks are trying to figure out how to make Christmas happen, how to make Thanksgiving happen, how to make New Year's Eve parties happen. How? By putting it on credit cards. They don't have the money. And they don't realize that the credit cards interest rates are going up with the Fed raising interest rates, which people say, oh, well, the Fed may pivot. Okay. If the Fed pivots, that just means the next rate hike increase is 50 basis points instead of 75. It doesn't mean the Fed is pivoting and turning around and lowering interest rates. That's not going to happen for quite some time. No clue when that's going to actually happen. This is having an effect on businesses. This is having an effect on people's jobs. It's having an effect on the housing market. It's having an effect on the auto industry, car sales. It's having an effect on the stock market. And what that means is that there's literally like three kinds of people here. The first one is the Fed and folks like the Fed. They are at the top. These things don't really affect them. They're pulling the strings, and while they're pulling the strings, they're fattening their pockets. We got those types of people. We got those who are really going to get they're going to choose the short straw. They're at the lowest rung of the ladder. They literally feel the impacts and repercussions of what goes on in our economy the most in a negative way. At home, I'm talking about low income. I'm talking about middle class, working class, poor. I'm talking about fixed income, possibly Social Security, SSI, SSDI, disability, folks on government assistance, aid programs. That's the second type of people. They are going to feel the pain. They are going to have that squeeze. They're going to feel that pressure mounting on them with what's going on, ultimately probably putting them in a position to be wiped out. Then you got the third. And the third are the folks that fall into the category who have been financially prepping for this moment in time, what we are literally at the cusp of seeing happen and occur. Those people are going to make hay. Those people are going to be out there buying up at a discount. They're going to be dollar cost averaging. They're going to be building their portfolios, and ultimately they're going to see a huge spike in their net worth in their portfolios soon to come. With recent announcements by former President Donald Trump last night, this is going to have a huge impact in the future of the economy, especially in the possibility of perceived confidence and consumer confidence in the economy, business confidence in the economy, global confidence in the economy. Granted, we are a long ways off from that, but the outcome that could possibly result as a result of a challenge between President Joe Biden, former President Donald Trump, possible California Governor Gavin Newsom, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, these could have major impacts and ripple effects in the economy, in business, in the stock market, in the cryptocurrency market, in all forms of assets that are going to appreciate in value, going to go up in value. They're going to build further wealth for folks who are invested in these vehicles and cash flow producing assets, as well as other asset classes that I've mentioned before. If you guys are interested in learning more about this and having an opportunity to get in on a fractional share of a growing asset class that has provided wealth for many, many, many wealthy people for years, decades, centuries at that matter. Let me know. Comment down below. And also, if you're out there and you're saying to yourself, Kevin, I am vulnerable. I am perhaps possibly the people, part of the second type of people that you were talking about that are going to feel the greatest pain as a result of what is to come, then honestly, folks, we need to have a talk. We need to have a conversation, because when this hits, it's going to hit so hard, it's going to knock you out. And even if we were to possibly see inflation coming down some, we're going to, if inflation, here's the deal. Think about it. Jerome Powell said it himself. If inflation comes down, that means jobs were lost. In order for him, the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, in order for his monetary policy to be effective, jobs would be lost. Businesses and families will feel pain. There will be softening in the economy as they shrink the balance sheet. So if we were to see, now think about it, if we're seeing inflation come down, if we possibly were to see inflation coming down, we're going to see job loss going up at an equal, possibly even greater rate than we're seeing the prices come down. So as the prices come down, so to speak, job loss goes up. As the prices come down, incomes get eliminated. Folks get wiped out. Savings accounts get depleted. Credit cards get maxed out. People, there's some folks out there that they're playing a dangerous game. They're a kite in the wind, and the string is about to snap. They're going to fly away. They're going to fly away. We're never going to see them again. Now, at the same time, that's not the only issue we have here at hand. We have a massive oil crisis. We have a huge problem when it comes to oil, and the fact that we are rapidly depleting our strategic petroleum reserves to a point of which we are going to become dependent on buying outside oil. That outside oil is going to come at a high price, and that high price is going to be global. And that high price is not just going to hit the United States and Americans and what we buy and everything that we do and how we travel. It's going to hit every single product, every single sector, every single service, and that inflation is going to shoot right back up. And if you're not prepared for that, if you're not financially prepared for that, if you're not aligned with that, if you're not already on track to not be a casualty of this, then I'm not going to say it's too late, but I will say that if it were me, I would be rapidly, I wouldn't sleep until I had my strategy, my game plan, my prep in place, my financial prep in place, so that I don't get wiped out, so that I don't fall behind the curve, and I can't, and I'm in a situation where I'm trying to collect unemployment, which is going to be pennies. It's going to be peanuts in comparison to what, your daily necessities and your monthly expenses are going to be, as far as rent, mortgage, fuel, energy, car, transportation, insurance. You know the whole list, and that list is continuously growing as far as the what we have to continuously put money into every single day, every single week, every single month. That continuously goes up. You quit paying one of your utility bills 1 month, you're out, you're done. You don't have power, you don't have water, you don't have heat, you don't have lights. You have to stay up with it, otherwise you get left behind. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's some folks out there in the automotive industry, in car sales. There's some folks out there in some industries that are going to get squeezed. They're going to get forced out. They're going to get pushed out. They don't have a backup plan. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am saying that if you don't have a secondary income, if you don't have a passive income stream, if you don't have a side hustle that you're working on, if you don't own your own business, if you're not a CEO, if you don't have an LLC, if you don't have a side hustle, I don't know what you're waiting on. I got links in the description. There's no charge. There's links in the description on how to start an LLC, how to become a CEO, how to get businesses going off the ground, pretty much with very little, if any, costs that someone else can do, that you can have rolling and ready and be in position and align yourself to have answers to the questions that I've asked before in previous videos of, if you were to lose your income, how quickly could you replace it and equal to and or greater than what it was? Because if you lose your job and you can replace your income, it's still putting you a step behind. You need to be increasing your income. Much like these businesses, what they're doing, Target, they've missed their earnings report. They're losing money. They're not trying to break even. They're going to find ways of adjusting their business. Twitter, laying off pretty much everybody. Walmart, chopping heads off. Amazon, 10,000 got to go. 80,000 already left. Y'all ain't coming back. 90,000 jobs lost. They are shrinking their own balance sheets. That's just like the Fed. They're shrinking balance sheets. They're softening the economy. So basically, as the Fed is pushing for this economic shift and this shrink, the businesses are too. And it's a unified front of a reduction. A lot of companies probably grew too quickly, grew too fast, too big, too quickly during the pandemic. Now they're seeing the results of it and they're going to start chopping heads. And there's not going to be a giant unemployment, slush fund out there to pay people more than they would have made to work to sit at home on their butts like they did back in 2020. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. And they're still going to survive. They're still going to be around. They're going to figure out ways to cut their losses that will increase their profits, and they're going to be around. But then folks out there are going to be sitting here, left here, holding the bag with limited, if any, employment opportunities, which ultimately will have a dramatic and tremendous effect on their income and their savings and their ability to survive. Plain and simple. This is what we're seeing happening right before our eyes. I told you guys, I'm not worried about looking forward into 2023. I'm actually kind of excited looking into 2024, depending on what happens with our presidential White House administration. That could be a game changer, but we still got to get there. We still got to get there. And if we're struggling along to get there, we may not make it. And that's why I'm continuously doing what I need to do every single day to make sure that happens. And so that when that happens, not only have I succeeded in my goals, but I can also continue to bring you guys along the way in the journey. And hopefully you guys are following along too. And you guys are winning and capitalizing on these opportunities as well. This is not trying to step on anybody to get, bigger and gain more money or anything like that. It's literally about working together as a team, as a community, as a family to make sure that we survive this and we don't get swallowed up by, $10 a gallon gas and crazy expensive milk, eggs, and chicken and water and necessities at Walmart and Publix and the grocery stores and, record unemployment and possible, crazy civil unrest and, people losing their minds in the streets. Nuh-uh. We need to be working to capitalize on these opportunities. I'm looking at these stock prices here, and it's like all these stocks are down, and all they're telling me is buy. These are discounts. These are opportunities to get in and build wealth, further build wealth. We're not trying to get in, hit it, and quit it. We're not trying to make a quick buck. We're not trying to get rich quick. We're trying to build long-term financial stability, long-term wealth, generational wealth, and increase the value of our net worth day in and day out by making smart, educated decisions like the folks out here, the first of the three different types of people I was telling you about that are using these to their advantage. Plain and simple. They're not sitting by the wayside waiting to get wiped out by the effects of the economy that they're actually implementing as they are part of a bigger picture here. But we don't have access to that, but we do have access to what we do have access to. And we need to take advantage of that and not sit on the sidelines and say to ourselves, oh, there's nothing we can do. Just throw your hands up and just give up. They're going to wipe us out. Eventually the dollar will be worth nothing. I tell you what, maybe you're right. Perhaps, maybe, but it's not today. It's not. Doesn't look like it's going to be tomorrow either. And until then, why give up? Why give up? I'm not. I'm going to keep pushing. I hope you guys are too. I want this to be an opportunity for you guys to watch my videos. However often you watch my videos, subscribe to the channel if you want to. I would appreciate it. But I want this to be a daily motivation for you. I want to encourage you to take the steps to improve your financial situation or even begin to build a financial portfolio that most people probably don't have. I'm talking about tightening budgets. I'm talking about spending less. I'm talking about saving more. I'm talking about investing. I'm talking about growing a portfolio and building a net worth, building something for your family, for your kids, for future generations, having money aside for emergencies, having money aside for investment opportunities, having money aside just to have fun and enjoy, what life has to offer. I want that for you guys, and I hope you guys want it too.